Is it even possible to be bored in 2024? I mean, really? Like, really? Think about it. When was the last time you took a shit without visualizing some entertainment at the same time? When was the last time you stopped a movie at home and everyone that was watching the movie didn't go directly to their phone? Nobody can be on idle anymore. Do you remember when we were young, when we still had, hard, erect attitudes towards life, and you would just be bored sometimes, and you would deal with that. And I think there was like a benefit to it, like being able to be bored and like ponder in your own head. There's not a minute of boredom anymore, and I don't know if that's a good thing. I think that's disabling a lot of the kids, and I mean it's already disabled us too. I mean it's also adults. Adults are addicted to their phones. I mean we've talked about this, but it's with everything. I see myself, for example, playing a video game, and at the same time I have a podcast on, so I can listen to something while I play the video game. And then there's other people that might also have their phone with the football game to see what's the score. On one side, very entertaining, very cool, very convenient. Love to live in a world where we can have access to those things. But what's the right balance? Because, like I said, I don't think anyone is on idle anymore. You always have to be connected.
I saw, what's this actor's name? Woody Harrelson, I think it was Woody Harrelson. He said the other day that he doesn't like to be available to anyone. I gotta find the article or what I read, but it's interesting that someone who's famous doesn't want to be available all the time for everyone. And I think that some part it does have to do with it, like a lot of technology and a lot of, like you said, we're not idle for anyone. It seems that we're always available at any given time. You can just reach me, iMessage, WhatsApp.
Like in the past, for example, if you wanted to reach Robert De Niro, right? You would need to know, his manager or his agency, and then they would need to know you for there to even be a chance for you to get to speak, or even have a message be sent to him, right? Now, through social media, anyone can speak to an artist. And this also happens not just with artists, but like in your own personal life. You meet someone, and because everyone assumes everyone's in their phone, somebody can just write to you, and they expect you to respond quick, right? To give them your time. And I find that today people are a little too butthurt, too sensitive. If somebody writes to me, unless it's something urgent, right? Like, and I don't write to you back or whatever, and I also respect your time, and you reply on your time, and I don't care, because I respect people's times as I respect mine, And I think in this world, everybody wants to be entitled to everyone's time and attention. And, that's causing a trouble. I mean, it's a little different from the original about being bored, but it's also part of it. It's like, not only are you never bored, but you also have access to everyone. So it makes it an endless world of endless possibilities. So it's fucked. I had to, I do certain things to try to compensate for this disability that I think we've all gotten. And for example, reading books, you have to push that part of your brain that doesn't want to focus on one thing for a long time. And when you're able to get past those 10 minutes at the beginning where it's a little hard, then your brain goes into like a focus mode that you don't experience very often because you're always in this, TikTok, next video thing, ping, boom, pound. You're never concentrated or anything. And then the other thing is I love movies. So I try to watch a lot of movies. When you start to watch a movie, especially because at the beginning you're not interested just yet, it's hard to like stop thinking about everything else, leaving your phone. So I challenge myself to like, okay, I put my phone in another room. I won't see it in many hours, and I'm concentrating in this film. So you have to put yourself through those things. In the past, it was a lot easier because you didn't have that much entertainment. So anything you were happy with. But now there's an so much entertainment. There's actually too much of it that it's an overload, and it's fucked. I don't know how you know what I'm gonna do with my kids when they.
It's oversaturation of everything. You know, there's so much information going on at any given time that you're never, like we were saying at the beginning, you're never gonna be feel bored, because you can also find other ways to use this as either an advantage or disadvantage. Like, you're bored, let's fight with someone on the comment section of our podcast, or go into their page and like look through stuff, and you're never, like, it's there for you. So I don't think it's possible to be bored in 2024. I mean, even on planes where you're in high altitudes, you have TV, live TV. You can now use Wi-Fi. I mean, you're always connected, so it makes you not be bored. I mean, yeah, there's definitely going to be people who are not on that wave.
This morning I had to go do like some errands, right? And when I do errands, to me it's like a little mission. I'm very like tactical about it. I had to go to like a mall that's kind of far from my house, and I needed to grab a specific bus. And then once I got there, know how to get to the place. And then once there, I had to exchange some stuff that I bought and get in like a bigger size. So it was like a little errand, and I went on my own. I like when I go on my own little errands.
When you go on your own, you go in and out.
Yes, and also you have a lot of time to think. And what I did is, on the way there, I told myself, I'm not going to use my headphones or my phone. I'm just going to like enjoy the ride.
Be in the moment.
Yeah, be in the moment, look outside, look at the trees, look at the bus driver screaming at the ladies coming in because he's never had, proper education. Speak to the people. and then I've been also in the metro recently, in the subway, and I tell myself, I'm not going to look at the phone while I'm in it. I'm not going to be like everyone else, every single one in the place. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look around, see if there's any danger that nobody's aware of. You know what I mean? For example. And I'm putting those little challenges. Like, if we go out, me and my girlfriend, and we're riding in the bus or even in a restaurant, I'm like, all right, put your phone away and let's just talk, If like people that are older hear this, they're like, what? But that's what it is. Like, you remember when you and me were like 15, 16, and we would get together with other guys and girls from the school, and we would have like a, I don't know, restaurant night or drinks at the crib. We will be mingling with each other, having fun, right? Today, kids go to a restaurant and they're all in their phones. They're not talking to each other. How awkward is that? It's crazy, and it's like, wait, you cannot be bored even a second, so you need to be on the phone, and then, like, no, just live the moment. Timmy wants to touch your ass, Stephanie.
I saw this particular topic.
Somebody posted it on Twitter.
Is it called Twitter still?
You know.
It's one of those.
Don't disrespect Elon.
And I found it funny because I'm like, you never have time for yourself anymore.
I mean, you do and you don't. Because even when you're by yourself, you're connected in some way. Even when you're reading a book, sometimes you feel your phone vibrate on your pocket or on the side table. And there's plenty more to do now. It seems like you're always connected, and then seeing what's next and what's up or what's the new trend now. So
it's a FOMO, right? Fear of missing out.
Mm-hmm.
You always have to know what's happening every day. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. And like I said, I don't think there's any use in complaining about it. It's the reality of technology. We have to learn how to maneuver it, right? How to make that technology work in our favor, but not limit us. And that's it. And that's it. And I've been hit by it. Everybody has been hit. I'm like the cynical type that says, fuck the phones. I've never had an iPhone. I'm always talking to mad shit. And I myself, I'm addicted to my phone. Maybe to a lesser degree than the norm, but I still am. And you know what I've been doing lately? When I see myself looking at shit, I'm like, remember? I close it and I throw it in the couch behind my seat, and I'm like, okay. And I put like clothes on top of it. I'm like, I don't want to look at you. Let me live my life. Let me look at other things. And I think it's important to be aware of it so that you can at least try to act upon it.
Yeah, but then let's say you throw your phone on the couch and then you forget that your WhatsApp is connected on your computer. So you're editing one day and you do that and you see like unless you willingly close everything and then just, put your mind to just doing one thing. I think regardless of...
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I mean. Yeah. I mean, obviously, if I throw my phone away, I'm not going to also put the WhatsApp on my computer. Yeah, I mean, the idea is, it's understandable that everything is closed. Like, for example, I want to look at a documentary. Okay, I'm just going to look at the documentary. Because you know what I sometimes do when I'm watching things on my own? Not with other people, but just on my own? I'm like, okay, because I'm just watching this on my own. While I watch it, I'll look at my phone. And then I have to rewind because I missed some fucking important information. And it's bullshit. We cannot concentrate on two things at once. We're not women. We have penises, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I mean, it would have been better. I mean, do you like being a straight, white, cis gender male? Or would you prefer to be a strong woman?
Strong, independent black woman?
I would prefer that.
Yeah, and also
hell no! Come on.
Also the amount of unlimited stuff that you have. Even if you're reading a book on like a Kindle, you have unlimited books to read, in a sense. Or if you're on Spotify, you have unlimited podcasts, unlimited music to listen to. Netflix, Hulu, like. I think the only way to be bored is if you truly are going for that state of mind of...
Now, let me take this up a notch. Does it matter that all these things keep you from not being bored if they're only keeping you mildly, mediocrely entertained? Like, how much better is what they do than being bored? Because I think that you hit it in the nail when you said there's unlimited this, unlimited this, unlimited this. And I think that that's the problem. Because there's so many of it, it's so limited, none of it is good. There's no more quality in things. And like, look, I might be wrong and I have been wrong. I don't think I'm, the pick of the litter. I'm whatever. I'm an average Joe. And if I think a lot of these shows, movies, series are dumb and just lazy, then I'm pretty sure most of the people would think that too. I mean, like, there's barely anything right now that really is good. Like, for real. A lot of it is just, it's like buffer. It's like fillers. It's just to fill the dashboard so you can just scroll through things. And I like, this is, okay, perfect analogy. You know what type of restaurant I like? A restaurant that has very few menu items. Kind of like Five Guys. Because I know you specialize on those things and you keep them coming out constantly. So it's always fresh. No hate on the Cheesecake Factory, which I like. But if you have a menu of 150 items, it's impossible to have everything fresh.
Right.
So I think it's a little bit with anything that you consume. If the options are limitless, then what is the quality? Like, are we caring about the quality anymore? Because I don't think we need 1,000 shows. I think we need 100 that are good. I think we'll be better off that way.
So, one of the things I read about was there's not only so much stuff to do and to watch and to hear, But one person says here that there's also a lot of decisions to make.
How so?
I'm trying to find out this person's point, but it feels like to do anything, you have to make a decision. So what I'm trying to understand here is that I'm guessing this person, when he talks or they talk about boredom, is like to have a blank state of mind where there's nothing going on. And it's interesting enough, if you think about the psychological behind it, it's like your mind is always constantly going. So it's not, you feel like there's no point of like laying in bed and then, not think about your next thing or your next problem. Maybe he's going more into that part of like your mind is always going, it's always like on the gears, and decisions about what we eat, where do we eat. There's 20 million different hamburger places. There's 20 million pizza places.
I mean, that I think is an interesting take. And then I could also look at it the other way, where it's the reversal, where it's like a lot of these younger kids today, I think, don't want to make decisions. You know what I mean? Like,
don't you see on Instagram now?
Mm-hmm.
No, I was gonna say, don't you see on Instagram now? A lot of people base their choices on what other people say. So I'm gonna, show you 2 pictures of 2 different sweaters. You choose for me what the fuck I have to do.
For example,
I see it a lot on girls. Like, oh, this is
bro, I've met people. I've met people that you talk to them, and they don't have opinions.
Or they base their opinions of other people on YouTube or TikTok.
Right, but they don't have their own opinions. Like, people that literally, you ask them about things, they're like, I don't know, whatever the good guy says. Like, I think that's that. So yeah, people prefer to just have things done for them, decided for them, and not go through the experience. And I think the experience has 2 parts to it. It has the actual experience, but also the non-experience. And the non-experience is the boredom. Okay, so when I've had to go in a travel with my family in a vehicle for hours, and back in the day, not now with a fucking Nintendo Switch or whatever, back in the day, looking at the roof of the car for 3 hours, pondering about my life, I think that there was something to that. I know it sounds mundane, I know it sounds simple, but I think there was something about us learning how to manage boredom. And the reason why I know this is because when I was 12, 10, 12 years old, I remember going out in the neighborhood where I lived, and me and the other guys from the neighborhood would play games like hanging each other from the bikes and trying to make the other one fall, skateboarding, playing football, baseball. I remember playing baseball with you a lot. And it almost felt like, we were trying to find anything to keep us from being bored. And I think that the boredom drives you to do these creative things that give you experiences. So if you're never bored, then you will never want to be creative about finding something that fulfills you, because you always have the next fucking little video ready about some fucking idiotic bullshit.
Or 2 dudes just talking. Us.
But I think that what we provide, now I'm going to go the other way. I was like, oh, no, we're not that. I mean, I really do think that this is different. I think that this is helpful. This is the type of content that I listen to because I want to know what other people that are going through this life think honestly. Also, it makes me go through it a little bit easier, I hope.
Do you feel like this question comes out of a burnout state?
The like boredom one?
The boredom. Like you're burned out. And then you're just...
I don't understand what's the relationship between being bored and burned out.
Burnout. So a lot of people answer this question with, this sounds like being burned out. Rather than just being bored.
But I think it's almost opposite. Like, burned out, you're always working, right? You're probably being oppressed by your boss. So I don't know how you'll be bored. I mean, it's a boring life, but...
Somebody answers with burnout is when you're exhausted and constantly detached and cynical. That's not like boredom at all. So this person is like
Okay, so that's why I agree with
putting
that person.
putting both of them separate.
Because I think burnout, you know what burnout is? Imagine this time in your life, which I'm sure you've had, where you get out of work, you're tired of the fucking job, you get home, you sit on the couch or whatever, you look at the wall and you stare there for 5 minutes, and you're so exhausted and burned out in your head that you don't even want to start to think what it is that you need to do now at home. You've been there before?
Yeah, for sure.
All the homeless
For
people
sure.
that are listening to us, you know, for example. So that's burnout. That's when you're so tired and so burned out in your head, you cannot even cry at home and you just stare at a wall. Okay? I'm not
It
there,
happens.
guys. I haven't been there in many years. But what I'm trying to say is that I think that's, even though that might look like you're bored, no, you're just contemplating suicide. It's way different. So, so don't confuse them.
Another person put something like overburdened.
But again, I think this goes with burnout. I don't know why the fuck we get the weirdest people commenting on shit. Like, I don't understand. Like, burden, it's like, yeah, you're overworked. But again, I don't see how this relates to boredom. Did I read the question? Is this boredom or burden?
Boredom.
Yeah. I think it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I do think that people 100, 120 years ago were easily bored, but in a different way. In a different way. I mean,
Yeah, but-
how long can you milk the cows for? Just to give you an example.
But if you think about it, the fact that they were bored allowed them to think of how the fuck we can improve the world. Now,
Right.
let's do a little reversal here. Being able to be bored, I think, is a luxury, or was, still is. The people that were hunting and gathering, right? The Homo sapiens type shit, caveman, you know, all the species before us, they didn't have time to be bored. They had to continuously be running, hiding, killing animals, eating to stay safe. So boredom, I think, was first experienced by like royalty. Everything's
Okay.
paid off. Things are well. You can go to school. Oh, I can be bored now. But people that I
Yeah.
think live in lower classes and that have to work two jobs, I don't think they have an issue with boredom. So there is also to that. And it's also important to say boredom, too much of it, is not good either. So just as I said, boredom I think is necessary for some things. Like addicts, you know, they say that the first thing that makes you relapse is being unoccupied, you know? That's why like the police always wants to be weary of, you know, older men that aren't working. You know, like, or young adults that aren't working. Like, why aren't you working? Why are you doing shit? Like, so
It also applies to different scenarios in life. Do you think like do you think like boredom comes from just overthinking or not overthinking enough?
well, I think boredom comes from nothing being exciting around you.
You see most of the millionaires. I don't want to say most or a lot of the millionaires. There's a lot of their stories is, you know, from the underground, from like a poverty place or a place where they weren't how do you say it, aroused enough in a sense,
Damn.
where
aroused.
boredom where boredom hits and they just create, they get into a sense of creation of you know, let's create the computer, let's create the internet. Maybe those came out
No,
of
no.
a boredom.
I think boredom is necessary for times of creation. Like I said earlier, I think it's the essence of it. Like I think that when you're about to create something good, it's hard at the beginning because you're like, man, this is boring, nothing's coming out. But you need to keep pushing until it does come out. You know, for example, you think the person that invented, I don't know, the croissant, right? The croissant. You think he wasn't bored in the process? You know what I mean? He was trying to make a new type of bread. He already had mastered other types of bread, right? And he's like, I want to make a bread that when I open it, it completely dissembles itself and falls all over the ground, but I'm not able to acquire this just yet. That one came out a little more German, but you get the idea. And he kept trying. Yeah.
Croissant.
Croissant.
Overrated.
Overrated.
Overrated. Delicious, but overrated.
Why is it overrated?
Too messy. I love butter. Sometimes it feels like it's a lot of butter.
Well, I mean, it is butter only, pretty much.
Right. And there's pockets of love. If your croissant doesn't have pockets, then there's not enough love, not enough butter. At least that's how the saying goes.
Right, but I mean, that's what I was making fun of it. Like, it is true. Like, it was a French man making bread. He wanted one that was more messy. He created the croissant.
You think, like, how did someone come up to this? Because if you see the process of making croissant, it's not easy. It's a lot of waiting because it's a long process. How the fuck did Francois come up with, let me make this shit and it's going to taste delicious and it's going to be...
Well, because he was bored.
Maybe the king was like...
He was bored and the king said, I want something that fucking, makes... the tip of my dick tingle. Yeah. And he brought him this shit. I mean, you say overrated. Why? Because it's messy? No, I mean, the main part of it is that it's super delicious. So that's it. I mean, yeah, it's annoying.
It's overrated.
You need a very sharp knife to open it because I like to fill it up with ham and cheese.
You see, how does French people feel about that? Or they don't like it, right? And what about the croissants that are filled with chocolate or caramel?
I mean, I'm not a fan, but I could have them. But why you said that they wouldn't like a croissant filled with ham and cheese?
I mean, maybe they already have it. I'm saying, like, maybe they're seeing that as like a third world country.
Right thing. Okay. Well, I mean, I gotta say, I mean, thankfully in Spain they serve them. They make them.
It's delicious.
But don't get me wrong. Jamón y queso, right? Ham and cheese on a croissant directly from the Francois. Guys already have butter.
Right. It's delicious. I have it. I've been having it almost every morning now.
Damn,
but
okay.
That's why I've been gaining some pounds because fucking Costco's selling the $5.99 18-pack of croissants.
Oh my God.
So
Costco fucking killing it always.
I think it's delicious. Don't get me wrong. Croissants are delicious. Now, I think they're overrated. Like, everybody gets this hype for bread and butter. And it's messy and you can't eat it on the go.
You can't eat it like in a train or in a plane.
No. If you have a beard, most likely some flakes are gonna...
I mean, but I think you're stupid. You're being stupid. I think at the end of the day, the flavor is where it's at. But yeah, it is a bit annoying. I like to every once in a while get a few croissants when I'm at the supermarket because I get them just fresh, and I open those bitches up, fill them up, put them in the air fryer.
Okay.
And then I eat that shit. And it gets even a little crispier. I love that shit. And the flakes that come off it, I pick them up and put them in my mouth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who invented the croissant?
It was Jimmy Croissant from Bordeaux.
Sylvain Claudius Goua. 1915.
The croissant.
Recorded the first known French version of the croissant.
The croissant.
Yeah, it's just well, if you know about croissants, it's just laminated dough, butter. I think it's 126
Layers? Oh,
I
shit.
think so. Yeah, because like I said, it's a long process. So what you do, you don't. If the butter starts melting on the croissant, you're fucked. So you have to start again, and everything has to be chilled and cold. So every time you stretch the dough, it's cold, so it's compact. So it makes it hard to stretch it by hand. That's how they did it in 1915. So it's not. But nowadays, there's a sheeter. This is electrical. You put the dough, and it's just rolls it to the desired length and width.
I'm sure there's a place in Paris that says, here's the original croissant. Here, when you try this croissant, it's the same way they did it back in the day. Come here, try your croissant. Croissant! Okay. I mean, I won't be visiting anytime soon. But, just because it's not in my immediate list. But, great stuff over there. Croissants.
There's a pastry chef. I can't remember his name now. He's very famous. That he has a croissant and a muffin, all like together. A cromuffin, I think it's the name.
Cromuffin.
Cromuffin.
Damn, this guy's. Isn't that like a cinnamon bun, like a cinnabon?
Right. So it's cinnamony, sugary, but it's part of the dough from the muffin and a part of. It's a lovebird or a love child.
Yeah, it's like, for example, if you were already having a few issues getting to diabetes with your current diet, then you can try the crow muffin and get there faster. Make sure you eat 2 in the morning, 2 at night.
Well, it says that it was popularized in San Francisco, so maybe I should get one of this and try it. And
there's probably like a famous place that makes them.
Yeah.
Bread is amazing. Isn't bread an amazing thing? You have I don't understand this, but, like we're making focaccia or trying to make focaccia in the recent days. We ended up just making bread. It was just bread. It was a good bread, but it wasn't focaccia. It didn't do the fluffy stuff. And I was looking into other types of breads. And then you know that people that are really into it, they start getting their own mother, right? Their own mother. What do they call it in the U.S.?
Sourdough?
Yeah, sourdough.
I know what you're talking, the mother dough in Spanish.
The mother dough.
Masa madre.
Yeah. So, and from what I understand, and maybe you can explain if you know a little bit of it, it's like apparently people have kept some mother dough for like 100 years or more. Mm-hmm. And they keep feeding the bacteria. Right. So how the fuck does that work? And how doesn't that contaminate people and make them die?
How? I don't know. I mean, science. What you do is you basically feed them the same amount of flour and water to the bacteria, so they keep feeding and acting as yeast, basically. So instead of putting the packaged yeast, you put some of this sourdough mix into your mix, and it does the same. It gives it some fluffiness, and it gives it a different, distinctive sour flavor. It's not sour as in bad. It's just soury.
Okay. So it's just a yeast that's better because it's been there for 100 years.
It's organic, right? Organic, and you can make it at home anywhere. I used to have mine, and then I went out traveling and I forgot about it, and it kind of died. And it dies in the sense of, well, it gets moldy because it's water, and you got to keep it in a certain temperature and a certain darkness, so it doesn't. I don't know. It works better for the bacteria. So if you keep it like that, and it's essentially water in the dark, it creates mold. So, you feed it every day. At least that's how I was taught. And
like
you have to be
monster.
Consistent. Right. And you have to be consistent with it.
It's a little bit creepy.
Okay.
That you feed this little monster that you make bread with. It is a little creepy and eerie.
Okay, I never saw it that way. Interesting that you did.
It is what do you mean?
I never saw it as a little monster that you're feeding.
Well, but feeding. You are feeding this living thing,
right?
That has been alive for hundreds of years potentially. I mean, not yours, but some people's.
Well, that's what I do with my son. I'm basically feeding a little monster.
Right, but then you don't take part of him to make bread.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, to be honest, I never thought about it
Yeah,
in
think
that
about
eerie
it.
way.
Think
Huh.
about it. It is eerie. Well,
Yeah.
in that note, I've heard that, for example, the best bagel you can have is in New York in a specific shop, and apparently it's because of the water. They get the water somewhere, so it makes you think, like, when you're making the dough, even the water and its content, which might seem like a minute detail, is actually extremely important, and apparently is what gives this bagel shop its distinct flavor and amazing taste. So
Yeah, I when we used to make bread for the restaurant in San Sebastian, they used to tell us, oh, we have to kind of check the humidity in the room because that affects the sourdough, the mother dough, and it shapes, or it gives you less cooking time, or more cooking time, more water, less water, more flour, less flour. I mean, the ambient around you has a lot to do with how you make bread. And listen, that's one way to not get bored, by making bread, because
Right.
some of it is tedious, some of it is fun. I've been making bread at home for fun, and I kind of want it to come out perfect every time, so I don't have to remake it and kind of waste the other ingredients. But it keeps you entertained in a different way.
Would you say in your household you're the bread maker?
Wow. Yeah, and yeah.
Huh.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, just be
No.
assertive. Be assertive. Be assertive. You make the bread.
I make the bread.
Okay. Okay. No, but you know what's cool about this? Because I'm sure, like, for pizza places, right? Part of it is the dough. Like, there's a new pizza place around my house that I've been buying pizza from, and I love their dough. And they might not even know why I like them so much. The ingredients, they're all right, they're good, but it's the dough that gets me. The dough that I love on a pizza is thin but still crispy.
So like a cracker?
Yeah, but not too not crackery enough that even the middle is snappy. Crackery
Okay.
enough so that the borders and part of the center is crackly, but then the rest becomes soft. So try to imagine
When-
that.
When you started going to this pizza place and you started loving the dough so much, did you go back to our pizza days? Did you think about how this dough is coming to the shop or
Yeah.
made at the shop?
Like, not this pizza place, but another one that I also like. I saw a post in Instagram where they were hiring a pizzaiolo, which is the guy that does the pizzas.
Did you think about it for a second?
And I was like, is this a sign from the Lord Almighty that I should go back into my pizza artist days? And I thought about it. And who knows? It's still on the table. I used to have mad fun, throw them pizzas in the air. You wouldn't get bored. And on that note about the pizzas and different skills, I wanted to also, towards the end of this episode today, we talked about, okay, the many reasons why we think people cannot really be bored. But for people that are like, hey, Kiko, you know what? I understand what you're saying, and that's cool for you. I like it. Sometimes you guys, look a little weird, but, that's cool. I actually do get bored sometimes. So it's great that you've talked about, all these people that don't get bored and all the things they have to not get bored, but I still get bored. So can you now help us, right? This part of the group. What are things that I can do so that I'm not that bored? And I'll start. You can start watching all of the episodes from this podcast and the Spanish podcast that's in the link. You have hundreds and hundreds of podcasts there, and it's all guaranteed, certified information and educational material. So think of it like, you remember the encyclopedias that they used to sell around the house? Think of it like that, but for autistic people.
We have a bunch of episodes. I know I'm not from the original cast, but I'm happy to be part of this.
Well, you like the
We
John,
have
you like the John Frusciante, in Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
came after, but you're the one that people like.
So we have 178 episodes in Spanish, 248 in English.
That's
God
right. That's
damn,
right,
we
motherfuckers.
put in the work. We put
and you
in the
better
fucking work.
and you fucking better not wish that we start having a little bit of success, because then we're gonna come out with more. We'll bring the Patreon where we'll be able to
7
really.
episodes a week.
We'll get the Patreon going where we'll be able to actually express ourselves, who we are, right, without any filters. Imagine people are like, wait, so this is not even you guys? Like, I don't get it. No, it is. But of course, I'm not going to speak to you like I fucking speak to Chef Maurice when nobody's filming, you know? When no one is watching, yeah, we're going to get a little wilder. Needless to say, God damn it. But that doesn't mean that we're lying to you. It's just that I'm giving you the 4TV version, right? Right? I might have to, get a job type shit. I can't be that wild. Now they like to investigate everything, Oh, you want to apply to this company? Yeah, can we have your Instagram? What the fuck? Can I see your OnlyFans? Get the fuck out of here. I'm applying for janitor at this McDonald's. What?
I'm afraid potential jobs, look at my stuff. I mean, that's why maybe I don't post as much.
Yeah, I know. I see you're a little afraid, and that's good. That's good to have a little pain in your asshole. But what I say for the TikTok where nobody knows, I say, Chef Maurice, share. Be open. Open your anus. Don't be gay about it. But I will respect any decision you make. If you do decide to share the clips on your personal page, great. But if you don't, I'll respect it. For the companies that are looking to hire me in the future, if you find this to be a deterrent, you can suck my dick. It's an uncircumcised Catholic dick, by the way. Wow. Which is the chosen one, actually. Okay, no mutilation there. Thank God I wasn't born in the U.S. where you don't have a choice. Cling, cling. Scissors come in. Are those scissors for the umbilical cord? Nah. This is for the chirilulo.
When my son was born, they have like a special room where they do that shit.
Where the rabbi goes. Now, remind me. I know this is very personal stuff, but remind me, because I think, is this something that they asked you previously? Okay.
When the kid is born, they ask you.
When he's born.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Like the doctor came to you and asked you, hey, do we do it the right way that the Jewish people intended? Or are we going to leave this, like your South American riffraff? What did you answer?
Riffraff.
Riffraff. No, okay. So, but I'm interested in knowing how do they ask to see their mindset.
No, I mean, I guess for them it's just like a regular fucking question. For me, it was like, okay, I wasn't expecting you to ask.
Okay, but what was the question? But what was the question?
Are we performing
circumcision or not?
Circumcision.
Oh, okay. There wasn't.
Very straightforward.
Okay, very straightforward. Okay, and you say no, leave it as it is.
Leave it as is.
Okay.
No touching.
Okay. No, because I do feel like, I don't know. I have a feeling that in some places it's almost like default. It's like you almost have to ask for it. Like if you don't say anything,
they're gonna do it. You have to be like, don't do it. I think. I don't want to say names because they do watch.
No, say it.
Say names.
No, I'm just kidding.
There's someone I know very close to me that gave his son a circumcision because he thought his penis was circumcised, but it wasn't. So I guess he didn't know what circumcision was.
Okay.
So at the hospital, he said, yes, do it. And then his whole family was like, you're nuts. You have your cat, you're good. Okay. So I guess he didn't know what it was.
Okay. Damn. And now you have to raise a Jewish kid. which is I mean, but it's also at different times these days.
True. Well,
That
A little
that those are funny stories though, like because there might be people in the U.S., for example, like we come from a Catholic background from like Venezuela and stuff, but people that are in the U.S., they don't know that. I don't think many of them know there's a difference. Like non-Jewish people in the U.S., Americans, fucking Jared from La Crosse, he got it circumcised. He doesn't even know why.
He thinks all the dicks look
Yeah, like that.
the same. He's at his dad's dick.
Even in porn, you barely see an uncircumcised dick. We're discriminated even in the porn business. So it's fucked. It's fucked.
What kind of porn are you watching?
No, I don't watch porn.
You make the porn.
I am the porn.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I remember when I started, in those endeavors. I was a kid living in the U.S. I would see that. I'm like, damn, why is my penis weird?
Right. You
Right,
do
like,
ask that
like
question.
imagine the first American girl I was with, and she's like, "What the fuck is up with this immigrant motherfucker?" Right?
Damn.
I thought the only
Okay.
the only problem was his accent. This motherfucker has a snail for a dick. What the fuck is this?
God. Yeah. Wow.
You feel me?
You took me back to that place.
Yeah.
Where I just thought about
imagine what they thought.
it. She was like, "What the
What's wrong with this kid? Poor guy. He comes from like a weird culture.
Oh, now I remember because the first girl I was with, she's like, "If I do this, does it hurt?" I'm like, "No," and it's just like pulling a little bit.
She's like, did somebody do this to you as like a punishment? You're like, what? That's how I was born, bitch. Yeah, bro. And I feel like a lot of people talk about the minorities, DEI, the LGBTQ, the trans. Nobody talks about the uncircumcised. Actually, why are we called the uncircumcised? Like we have to undo a word. Like, no. The normality would be you're born as it is. And then there's the circumcised people. But no, they sort of took the word and made it that circumcised is the default, and then uncircumcised is like the weirdos. Motherfucker, you're the one that's using a fucking scissors and passing it through your kid's dick, so don't call me weirdo.
If we ever need to change the podcast name, the uncircumcised would be
Damn.
a very good name.
Damn. I mean, people leave comments if that's something that you would like. I have been thinking about if the name is understandable to people, the Broski Doodles. I love it, but every time I tell somebody to look for me on YouTube, they're like, I can't find it because the name and YouTube is not really caring
not
about.
helpful.
Yeah, they don't want to help people find us. It seems.
They don't want to help the uncircumcised Latinos.
Yeah, I mean, again, you could say it's conspiracy, but there is an agenda against the South American uncircumcised. You know what I mean? I think they know that we might hold the power to make change, and like stop this mutilation in the U.S.
Maybe we can have a new segment, and then I show you 5 people, and then we just go.
And then like what we have to guess who is circumcised and who isn't.
Circumcised and who's not. Yeah.
And then at the end
So it's
you reveal the penises.
like messy. And it has to be 5 random people.
You know what's a thing like we could be do a business? Like there's a website, for example, that you could go on and you could type in any actress and it will give you the scenes in all movies where that person shows their boobs, for example.
I think there's already one.
Yeah, no, there is already one, right?
Okay.
So imagine one like that, but that you put the person's name and it tells you if they're circumcised or not.
And they show you.
And if available.
Okay.
So yeah, that could be a business that we're not exploding just yet. Yeah, circumcision. I think, we should bring back hood pride. You know what I mean? You got to keep your hood. There's no point in taking it off. If anything, it helps it. You know what it does? Okay, you guys want me to give you the inside knowledge on this? And I know this is a little bit inside baseball, but, people are asking for it, so.
The hooded. I think we have to rethink the name. Just the hooded part. The hooded pride and just a bunch of triple
hood-
K people.
Hood pride. No, bro, it could be like from pride from the hood. Anyway, so look, this is the real reason why you shouldn't get circumcised. When you are circumcised, the top of your dick is rubbing against everything, against your boxers, against your jeans. So what is happening is it's getting less sensitive because it's always like, imagine if you're always barefoot, your feet is gonna become calloused and less sensitive than if you keep your feet always in nice socks and with cream, right? So
That's why I come in like 5 seconds.
exactly. So
Gotcha.
if you look at people that are hooded, they are quick comers, right? We don't waste time, right? Because that part is so sensitive, right? But then that's gonna make you enjoy all the hog toas a lot more, for example. And when you're older, right? And now the penis starts failing, the ones that had more sensitive in the top of the penis are gonna be able to keep that dick hard longer. And the ones that fucking scraped the top of their penis like that shit was a golf club with no cover, then yeah, you're not gonna have that much sensitivity, so you're gonna have to end up being pegged to, even feel something in your prostate.
Do you know that now you can do this as an older person? Like it doesn't have to be done only as a baby. So you can go with 35 at the doctor and be like, can you chop it?
Or you can get a late circumcision.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, you can.
And why
And I
would you
don't
do that?
think- Why? I don't know. They would say it's
Peer
clean. I mean,
pressure? Peer pressure?
Peer pressure. I did see, now that you mentioned, I did see somebody who said that, I've watched porn videos and their dicks are not like mine, and I want to have that. So people have different
Peer
aspirations.
pressure, right?
dick-wise.
Like a plastic surgery type thing. Okay.
Right.
No. I always take in pride that my penis looks like like a South American refugee. Just going through life, trying to make it through. You know what I mean? Nothing special to see, but just fighting to get through. A little warrior, if you will. Okay? So yeah, that's a little bit of encouragement for all the uncircumcised folk out there that might be bullied and made feel like they're less than. If you're ever with a girl that looks at you funny about your little uncircumcised little champion, then you put it away and you tell her, okay, if you don't want to be with
not
it,
for you.
then it's not for you. You can handle the wisdom of this wizard. Because the wizards.
If we ask the producer to put a picture of a circumcised dick in it,
I can't do that. I mean, the fuck you think this is?
just so people have an idea.
I mean, YouTube already
to look
doesn't
for.
fucking distribute this podcast. Now you want us to get reported by the FDA for kids and shit. Everybody,
It have to be kid dicks.
everybody, everybody knows how these things look. So you know what it is. Now, the last thing I wanted to say is just to debunk things here. Again, to give, because you and me, we're already almost 40, lives, whatever, meaningless. But for kids that are younger, they might feel a little bit like, damn, I've been told all these things and I feel inferior. Because they say, oh, if you haven't gotten a circumcision, then you have less hygiene. You have less hygiene if you're a dirty motherfucker. That's it. Okay? I clean my thing every day and that shit is beautiful. If I could taste it, I would. That's how clean it is.
Maybe we can ask the producer now to put a picture of your dick.
If I could do the Marilyn Manson on my thing, if I could do the hawk twat on my thing, I would. Feel me? If I could hawk twat myself, you don't think I would? I would, and that shit's clean. People say that, oh, this is less hygiene. You get cottage cheese in there. That's only if you're a nasty motherfucker, and you get those cheese curds from not bathing. From not bathing. Yeah, you don't wanna give anyone, allow anyone to give you that hug twice if you like that. So get your shit clean, stay nice and tidy, but don't be fucking, belittle. If you have your little hood, wear it with pride. And you know what? I think it even gives it a little extra inches.
Oh, yeah, it definitely does.
Or at least some girth. It makes it look thicker. So yeah, keep it cool. Okay, last thing. If you're not in the age where you need to be using erection pills, don't use them. I think there's like a vibe now. Just like very young girls are getting Botox and fillers that don't need them, and now they look older than they are. I see like younger guys starting to use dick pills, and it's like, I mean, I don't know why you would be having issues with that, but I think they're just using it to, I don't know, stay hard longer. Like, that shit fucks your thing up so that when you're 40, 50, you won't be able to do the fuckity-fuckity. So, stay away from that bullshit. Stay clean.
I have seen a trend where there's pills. They do have names. Maybe we shouldn't give names.
No. Power Rhino. That's probably one. I don't know.
The ones that they sell at the gas station.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Anyways, I've gotten Instagram videos of this new pills that make you stay happier longer.
Yeah. Do the natural way. You do one, you go rest, have a beer, then you come back for a second. Okay?
Do you play with other toys?
Yeah, like most of the time, I have one up my ass, and that's the only way I can really, get to the climax.
Perform. Right.
So I'll show you those, but I will say, Chef Maurice,
maybe the producer will put a picture.
That is for some Patreon material. So sorry for that. We'll leave it at that. You're rocking LA, so you're looking Shohei Ohtani in the house. LA Dodgers.
Is it okay to say he's my favorite player, or am I riding the dick? Like, I'm riding the bandwagon.
I mean, you are giving him the hog toa, but why not? He is a beautiful Japanese man
who happens to play baseball very well,
and happens to play both hitting and pitching. So
he goes both sides.
And
on the baseball field.
If he wants to, exchange balls any day,
maybe we should take a trip to LA and watch a game.
Well, maybe
he has 10 years.
Maybe we're lucky. This podcast goes big. Shohei Ohtani starts listening because his translator wants him to learn English. And he's like, oh, look, listen to these retards.
And give us some picks for the next.
And then we end up in a fucking betting, scandal with Shohei Ohtani.
Maybe the betting guy would be very good for the Euros now that they're playing.
He's probably betting
Copa America.
He's probably betting money
from jail.
All right, guys. Well, keep it real, keep it guys, and keep it cute. We're on all platforms. Please leave the comments, leave the ratings. The other day, they left a Broski Doodles ratings on Spotify. It took us from 3.7 to 4, and now I'm a lot happier because I hated being in the 3s because of some idiot that probably left us 1 because he didn't understand the comedy. So we still need more so that we can be, rising. 4.1, 4.2. Clips coming out every day. I hired a producer. It's outsourced from India, and he's making tons of videos every day.
He's probably circumcised.
No, I think in India they don't circumcise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Mainly because you could get infections if you cut anything in those hospitals. That's what they say. That's not me. I love you guys. Keep it real, keep it consistent, and stop doing the things that you're not supposed to do.